Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome to the discussion for Concordia. Quick correction, I actually got 7 extra points at the end, which didn't help me win the game, but I got second.
Yep.
So I just wanted to make that very clear that it didn't matter. No, so Concordia, late to the game on this because this game has been out for quite some time.
Yep.
Had a bunch of expansions, and without beating it over the head, this, in case anyone is aware, is the updated cover.
Really?
Yeah, it actually is. Which, to be fair,
they did more airbrushing.
They paid someone else to do a adequate job. I might be able to.
I do like that the market guy's not really looking at her face.
They're not looking at anyone.
Staring off at
She's he's just like zoned out, and then she is just like, I'm pretty sure she doesn't even have eyes.
And that is definitely 80s hair right there.
Right. Oh yeah. This was the what the. I don't care about whatever. Hold on. I gotta show you the original cover. That's what the original cover was.
It's beautiful.
It's I mean she is.
Oh right, that was the original cover. Yep.
It's almost different.
So this this game gets like a lot of buzz for being like extremely stellar, and my running theory is that the game looked so bad that everyone wrote it off and then played it, and they're like, "Wow, it's actually good."
Playable, sure.
It's I think this game is pretty good. Like I'm not like yelling out in the streets that it's the best game ever made, but it's serviceable. I do like it. I don't know if I like it with 4 or 3.
You probably like it better with 3. Just because you plan your moves ahead and you don't have to wait as long.
That's true, but I think the game still kind of took the same amount of time. That deck of cards runs out so quick anyway that it's like, ugh. Like, I feel like I never have enough time to do what I actually want to do.
Right.
But then again, at the same time, there's not a whole lot to do.
Right.
And
that's how I feel about a lot of Euros anyway, is they start ending right when I feel like the engine is really picking up steam.
Mm-hmm. Right. But overall, what's your guys' thoughts? I don't care who starts.
I really enjoy this game. Probably my favorite mechanic is, I would call this, it's both good for you, but also good for everyone else as you kind of build up regions. Mm-hmm. Because, like, you got the iron that you needed to end the game and get 7 points, right? Because I was going to do it myself, because that's why I went and bought the extra iron. It just so happens that you also gave me iron at the very last move.
Yeah.
But the fact that, like, you can get a resource that you need that's not the brick, which is the cheapest resource, but something else. And then as you build up regions, you are looking at, it's like, okay, I don't want to do Libya for that iron because it's going to give you iron as well. But this is going to give you a lot of stuff, so which one do I want to pick? And you pick the lesser of two evils, or you pick a region that you've really built up, because it encourages you to build up in one area, but also encourages you to kind of spread out so you can take advantage of other people's picks.
Yeah, and like kind of the whenever you're building in certain spots, like what I did was the first cards I bought were about getting points for brick and for like metal. So then I just built in brick, and then every time I was able to take Britannia, I was getting food and brick, which I needed to build more brick, or I needed to build metal. Right. And I'm like, oh great.
And also to get colonists out.
And so it was kind of a really good engine. But this is kind of one of those games that I never feel like I'm ahead. I'm just like, even when final scoring happens, I'm like, I hope I do well. Like, even though, because whenever we went to like the Jupiter cards, it was like, oh, cities, but no brick cities. I'm like, fuck. That's like most of my buildings are brick cities.
And that is one of the things that I don't know, you can love and hate it. You don't know anybody's score until the end, and there's no way to really keep track of it. So there's no like point solid counting at the very last. Okay, I can see we're coming in at the end. Am I going to beat Zach over there? Which move is my primary move? Do I screw him? It's like, nope. Just play the game the way you're playing it. It doesn't really matter what they're doing, because you have no idea. Like, I honestly didn't think I was going to win. It's like, I'm going to come in at a tight second, maybe third.
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, you you won based off of the cloth, but no one else
Right.
competed in that.
Right.
I did.
Did you?
Yeah, it's exactly
Early on, and then I didn't push it
I
too
meant in
hard.
terms of like provinces.
Right.
Like
Right.
I think you were able to hop on them
I-
for their actual cost versus having to double it up.
I have paid double for 2 of them, but for 2 of them I didn't. And like this one was open for a while. Like I took this card, and that one was open to a lot of people, and they could have gone. It's like they could double up, but then the Italian and the one over there was at Syria. I had paid double cost, but I was like, that's fine. I could plan this out for the double cost, and nobody else is going to pay it before I am.
It's really funny because obviously you were going on the cloth spaces, and whenever I senatored, I thought about just buying that.
Yeah.
Just to be like, well, I don't plan on going on cloth, but that could be a lot of points there.
Right.
But I'm like, I don't play that way. I don't
Right.
want to just have a card just to prevent someone else from having it.
Right.
I'll just try my own strategy. Come to find out, I should have. Zach, what do you think?
I like it. I think it's one that has probably been. There's derivatives of this in the market already. Like people had probably borrowed things from this game and improved them since it came out. I don't know when this came out. It came out quite a long time ago. right?
Like 17, 18.
Thinking, yeah, around that time.
Jesus, it's over
And
300 years old.
Even 5-6 years.
Hold on.
Will,
13.
Oh, really?
2013. Wow. I thought it was
10 years
later.
will make a game look ancient. Unless it's amazing.
This game looked
something like-
ancient when it came out.
That's why Cosmic Encounter amazes me because it's
It's like on its
40
10
fucking years old and it's still great.
Yeah.
Right.
Wiz War, I think, is also like super old, but
But this, I mean, I like elements of it. It's not ever really exciting.
No.
that's very true. Yeah,
It's
as pure a Euro as you can get.
You sunk my battleship.
Yeah. Well, no, you're right. There's nothing quite exciting about this game, but yet it's just solid.
yeah.
Right.
It's one of the. I think we've talked about that. There's a lot of Euros out there that I've noticed they're just kind of like, it is good. Okay, on to the next one. Like,
Right.
And this is kind of one of those. And I think whenever it came out, it probably would have been like, this is fucking great.
Yeah.
I feel like games. I'm thinking about recent Euros that I played that have player conflict, and like Hands of Teutonica seems more genius compared to this. I don't like Hands of Teutonica because it's mean.
Yeah.
But like, I like this better just because you always have options of what you want to do. You don't really get blocked by anything. You have other things that you can do.
No, the only thing is honestly taking cards, but there's 7 cards out, so unless there's one really hyper specific card, which the only hyper specific cards are the production ones,
Yeah.
Right.
Because there's only one of each.
And after having played it once, now knowing how, because I mean, the card showing more specific scoring would help just from
Yeah.
a new player aspect. But if somebody buys a card, buying another card could potentially help you. This money thing is not a good.
The Vesta is so
if that
trash.
if that was 2
Yeah.
points per, that would be one. But everything else, like, you can pretty much buy a card and know that you're going to get some points. I do realize now, as I was spreading out, buying a card is almost more valuable. Buying another
Yeah.
card in that set, if you can get one, even if you're
Yes.
spending a premium on resources, it's worth it.
Especially like when you have 10 of the provinces, so just getting as many of these Saltorius as you can
Or
is
get-
10
get-
points a card.
or focus on 1 or 2 cards up front and then build to those strengths.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah, and actually, because I kept buying them because I was slowly starting to spread out. So Zach and I were, kind of indirectly competing for provinces.
Right.
And that was the first thing that we did. There was that brick card, and I was like, okay, well, I'll go over here and build a brick, and then you tick it, and I was like, okay, I'll do something else. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Right. Because that's why I was doing, like, I specifically was trying to get as many of these Mars cards because 2 points and they help you get more people out already. It's like, okay, you can make some points on that one.
Right. Yeah, and funny enough, it seems like, because the cool thing about this game to me is I do like the scoring. I think it's unique. You don't really see a whole lot of, like, multiplier
Set
scoring
collection
stuff.
multipliers.
Set collection multiplier kind of objectives. It's normally just, hey, you just get points for resources and money, and then here's the public objectives. But yeah, whenever I'm buying cards throughout the game, I'm never looking at what their bottom thing is. I probably should, but I'm just like obviously the top. And then towards the end, whenever I'm like, how am I going to get the most points? Now I start looking at the bottom because I saw Mars, and then I think there was also a Sanctorum card. but then you bought them both, and I'm like, damn it. All right, because I was also going for colonists, not really for the Mars points. It was just to get more out, so I had more movement.
Yeah.
But then I was like, oh, now they're worth 2 points each.
Well, when I built the 2, it was at that point I made the decision I'm going for Mars points. And so I agree. I don't look at the bottom until I make an active decision, like, this is where I'm going to try to get points. Like, I wasn't going to go for the extra cloth until I bought that. Like, I wanted some cloth because cloth you can sell it for high enough to start buying what you really need. But once I got back cards, like, now I know the strategy. This is what I'm going for.
Yeah. Brett, what do you think?
I got nothing. So, again, very different perspective from the three of you, which is fine. I'm fine.
I'm here.
So, overall, this game is a little bit more complex than I enjoy. And one of the things I really don't like is surprise in-game points, which this is nothing but surprise in-game points. So, you know, I didn't even play thinking about points. I was picking up cards that I thought might be valuable. You know, cards that get me more cards. Okay, let's see how that plays out. But I didn't even think about points in any of this, and it shows. Oddly enough, I got very close to the score I got in the first game I ever played, which I also played with no strategy.
That is not true. You broke 100.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I'm glad you remember things.
Because I broke 100 and you beat me. So I think you were in like the 130s.
All right. So I got pretty close to the same score.
About 50 points different, but yeah.
2/3. Anyway.
Will you count how many cards you bought?
Yeah.
Anyway, but it's very playable. I don't dislike it. It's got mechanics I don't like, but I would certainly play it, and I would have fun with it, and I would play it differently every time. You know, there are so many varieties, so many options.
Okay. Well, my theory doesn't work anymore. My theory was whoever bought the most cards probably wins. And I have 7, so
yeah, I have 6.
I had 2 sets that gave me a lot of points, and then nothing else really mattered much.
I have 5.
Yeah, I had kind of. Honestly, I looked at mine. I'm a little diverse. Like, I think the most of any one set was 3, but I had a lot that were 3s.
Yeah. I kind of I mean, I guess the 3 production cards I did get, the Minerva cards, were the 3 lowest.
Value.
So, I mean, it makes sense because they're the easiest to get. One of my favorite things about this game, though, is it is completely... I mean, it's going to play the same, almost, because, like, there's no unique cards. Like, all the cards are going to be the same that you can buy. They're pretty much the same types of cards you already start with, but the variety is going to be based off of where the goods are out on the board, which then changes the
rewards over there.
The prefect cards up there. But yeah, it's a Euro. And it's, to me, almost at its core, the most Euro game of Euros. The only thing that flips on its head is the surprise endgame victory points. Because a lot of Euros is very almost deterministic.
Yes.
Power. Especially, I mean, one of the most modern ones that we've played is Teletum, and that's as deterministic as it gets, except for the dice. But this is just kind of like, yep, here's the layout of the board, and I guess I'll go for cloth this time.
Right.
But obviously, this is just base game. I know there's a bunch of expansions it's not here. That they've created. Salsa creates, I have no idea, 27 district forum cards, new strategies, new scenarios. Then Concordia Venus is new scenarios.
You go to space.
Huh?
You go to space.
You go to space, yeah. It really jumps the shark. It's like any anime, when they go to space, you know it's over. You're like, well, it's bad now. And then they have the solo co-op variant. So I feel like a lot of our kind of feelings is we're like, no, this is good. This is a good game.
Yep.
But if someone would be like, you want to play Concordia? I'd be like, not really.
Would you rather?
It does,
like,
I think...
Would you rather play something?
Had I known how to play it, I think at 4 players it would have played fast. We could have, if we were really burning through it, we could get done with it in 7 minutes.
Yeah, and even, I mean, this was your first time playing, and it was getting to that point halfway through where it's like, I'm going to tribute. Okay, cool, you're done. Boom. Right. I'm going to good. You can, like, almost nothing is like, you really have to wait for anyone to go except the movement. Movement and the buying cards. Yeah. But trading goods, prefect, diplomat, I mean, it's like, it's all kind of solo, and you're never really in anyone's way.
Yeah.
Right.
Not much.
So,
other than the very beginning, even movement stops feeling like you're in people's way.
And that is true. Like, I like the fact, because this did feel like just as good at 3 and at 4.
Yeah.
That no one was really...
I asked about that at the beginning of the game, and now I just realized that's very valuable.
Showing
Yes.
like the multiple, like how many of those types of cards are in.
Yeah.
So
And there's a shitload of useless. No, that's not Vesta.
No, it's
This is
Jupiter.
what you
Do you just start with one
I
Vesta
think
card?
there's
and
only
you
one
can't
Vesta.
bind
I
it?
there's
totally
only
thought.
one.
I totally
So
thought
it's
there
just
were
like
more.
a.
It's basically just a way to calculate the points from what your resources are going to be worth.
Because you just sell them all at the end anyway.
Makes sense.
But yeah, I'm sure this is definitely one of those games that because it's so pure that if you went to a tournament, like if I got 106 points at the end, they'd probably be like,
Right.
okay, wow, I didn't know we were playing with beginners.
But if you're
our
playing
average
with
score
four
is
players,
312.
Then they're going to block each other constantly. So I feel like that's going to keep the score down because I feel like you could very easily have a maximum score if everyone was playing optimally.
Right.
You think?
Yeah.
I feel like there's probably a lot more card counting with people who are like really good at this game. They can sit there and be like, and because of that right there, they're like, okay, I'm gonna go for the Sanctorum strategy. We're in deck 3 and there's 5 out. That means there's 2, and I know Zach and Brett bought 1. And it's like, dude, play the fucking game, man. Like, go touch grass.
Yeah, but those people are already thinking at instantaneous speed.
Yeah, they probably see the opening 7 and they're like, okay, got it. What do you mean, got it? It's like, yeah, I already know the order of the cards that are coming out. I don't want to play anymore. Which, and what's really nice, there is a variant where you start with no goods, but you start with way more money.
So everybody's
because
first
he
round
starts
is
with
buying
1, then 2, 3, 4, but we all start with the same number of goods. If you don't do that variant, start with 25 goods. I don't know why anyone would do that. That just sounds like it slows the game way down.
Well, you'll spend a turn or two just gathering goods.
I guess, to be fair, that variant would, I guess, allow everyone to start off differently. If I wanted to go more into this strategy of bricks, steel, then I could then spend that money to get only those goods that I need instead of being like, well, I don't fucking need cloth,
Because you can
I
buy
don't
2
need
goods
wine.
off the bat with that strategy.
Yeah.
So you fill up on what you're likely to build on.
What you know your first 2 to 4 buildings are going to be.
Yeah. And then
Actually, that could be very interesting because then you look at what everyone did before you.
Oh, yeah.
And you go, well, I got to pick a different strategy. So
You said buy goods. You can't pay this to get one of those resources. Can
But
you?
you can with this card.
yeah, the Mercator.
Mercator.
Whenever you're trading, trading
Trade
goods
is buy or sell.
is buy or sell.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
even know that.
Yeah, because normally, so if you sell one good, you can buy
That's why I was wondering is you guys kept on trying to get money, and I'm like, why are you? Why would I use the money
Some of
card?
us didn't
I
have
have
brick
so much money.
farms.
Yeah.
well, what can I say? It was pretty nice. I just needed money for steel when I needed it. I'm down there, and I was like, oh man, I got all the production
I
for
sold
everything.
cloth for bricks.
Yeah, it doesn't really seem like it was in your favor, but it ended up working out. Which, 100 points for never using the Mercator to buy goods is impressive.
yeah.
But yeah, now that I think about it, that variant does sound way better. Because you could do it in the sense of
you
what
could-
I did. I could, first opening hand is I do the Mercator, buy the goods I want, and then I diplomat someone else's obvious Mercator.
Right.
So then you could buy the resources you need if I never want to go wine or cloth or something. Mm-hmm. And then there's another variant, or not really a variant, but kind of like an intermittent scoring. And that's to help players who don't quite understand how the scoring works. You kind of do it's almost like a tutorial. You play it, then it's like, okay, intermittent scoring, now we do
Yeah.
it. Okay,
Well-
you know how it works? Restart. So, it is there. I don't know. I think this might be one of those games that I feel like I should check out the expansions before being like, I've played this.
Right.
Because base game, I know I wouldn't want to play this base game again because it doesn't quite have the variety that I look for in games to want to keep coming back.
I definitely play it again. I wouldn't be.
See, I would
incredibly
play
excited
again.
about it.
But
You said you wouldn't be excited.
I wouldn't. It wouldn't be like on my top 10 list of things to play, but I wouldn't also
Right.
be. It's kind of like the same way I feel like about Dead of Winter every time somebody says that.
Yep.
I like Dead of Winter.
Yeah.
It doesn't blow me away, but I'll
Right.
always play it.
That's true.
That's how I am. So this is one of the games every 8 months I want to play this. It's that rotational where I'm not playing this weekly.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go play this weekly.
Yeah.
But every now and then, or to me, it's my Fury of Dracula that I want to play it once a year.
Yeah.
And I only want to play it once a year.
Yeah.
But I kind of want to play it that once a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or the TI for normal people.
For normal people.
That's like, that was a very awesome experience. You want to play it next week? Absolutely not. No. No, I like to sleep.
That's way overrated.
Yeah, I mean, really, I have no negatives on this game.
Except the artwork.
Yeah, I mean, it's whatever.
The board art is fine.
It's fine. It's bland.
It's better than
This-
some Euro games.
This
Yeah.
is like El Grande level art. Like, if
This
you
is
ever,
better than Hansa. This is better than like Agricola and all the Uwe Rosenberg games. A lot of them.
Teletum. It's better than Teletum's art.
Yeah.
No, that Teletum cover is
Oh, okay,
amazing.
okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I guess the board is just a bland map.
I mean, to me, I look at the art mostly on the board because I just don't stare at the cover
This
while
is
we're playing
almost the
games.
color right here.
Yeah.
Everything has brown added to it.
Honestly, this is a
true.
serviceable one, though, because you do need to distinguish where provinces are, and you can easily see that. I
Yes.
think they could have done a little bit better with
Unless-
the different colors. Like, it's like, these blue are close to each
Close
other.
to, and like they got two browns that are fairly
Two
close
reds,
to each other.
like it's like a darker red and then a slightly lighter
Right.
red.
But they're at least not close
Because
enough to
of
each other that
numbers.
you question which is it on that border or not.
Yeah.
Right, so blues against
Oh, yeah.
greens, browns, and yellows and red. It's clear cut. The other blue is again clear cut away.
You know what I also think is a little odd, and this could be just because it came out in 2013. We were talking about scoring. This just needs a fucking trackpad, like
Yeah.
Great Western Trail. Like, why have you don't ever keep track of score throughout the game? There's no reason to have this around except, I guess, to do this. But you could just be like, all right, what's everyone's Vesta? 2, 2, 3.
Right.
Like, okay, and then just
But
go down and
that's
add
probably
it up.
age. That's 2000.
That's what I'm saying. It's like,
See, I was thinking the same thing, and then I thought of Yahtzee. And I went, no, it's been done before.
okay,
It became more
It became more
common.
common.
Yeah.
This is the common.
no,
thing
actually,
for-
Seven Wonders, 2012. Seven Wonders has a score pad on
Does
it too.
it?
Yeah, yeah.
Huh.
And
that might
technically,
have been-
Seven Wonders Duel has it too. And I'm like, what's the point of this? No one ever wins by scoring in this game. It's always stupid military or science. So yeah, and again, I'm kind of nitpicking because it
Yeah.
is just a serviceable Euro. So, so base game Concordia, like, it hasn't changed for me. I think this is a very solid 7 out of 10. So that's where I'm at.
Cool. 7.5.
7.5,
Yep.
I'll say 7.
7.
Yeah.
8.
Yeah, that's about expected. I think my friend who was really hyping this game up, I think he was also at an 8, which was weird because he was like, "No, you gotta play it. It's so good." I'm like, "Man, it's probably 10 out of 10 for him." He's like, "No, it's an 8."
I think this probably grows the more that you play it too.
Yeah, and it could also be based off expansions if it does add new cards that get thrown in, where it's like
Right.
it's really like, "Ooh, that card's way better than anything out there right now."
If you're playing with a group who knows the game and like gets very competitive, I could see that being fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was nice though to be able to, at the start of the game, it was kind of like you went that way, Brent went that way. I think you went south, and we were just all like, boop. Okay, well, this is everyone's strategy, and then eventually it was kind of like, I don't think I really. Oh yeah, I hopped in here, and then I hopped in there with you guys, but no one else ever messed with me on that side.
Yeah.
No,
So-
I thought about going for those medals, but then you took the medal one,
Yeah.
and I was like,
Oh.
okay, then it doesn't. I'm not going to go for those two. It just isn't worth it.
Yeah.
And there's positives and negatives to that because like your spaces don't get taken up, but your tiles aren't going to be paying out on resources.
As thoroughly.
Yeah, and there's also kind of, maybe this game could use a little more contention, so someone doesn't just monopolize, 20 points of the silk. It's like, I like competition in games where it's like, I don't have to go out of my way to do that. It's like, for me to be like, oh, I guess I gotta compete in silk, I'm basically just following you
Right.
around the map, and it's like, we're playing the same game. I'm gonna go there, I'm also gonna go there. Like, it's so, yeah.
I mean, the only thing it discourages is because you start doubling the money costs for every house.
Yeah.
There. You can't follow exclusively. Like, the minute there's 2 houses there on the silks, like, yeah, that's probably not happening.
15 money.
It ain't worth it.
Yeah. So I guess you kind of like, if you go to silk, then it's like, oh, I know what, so I'm going to go to this silk.
Right.
I'm going to go to that silk. I don't really want to go silk in this game, but just to make sure someone doesn't monopolize it.
Right.
But there's enough abilities, there's enough strategies, there's enough movement. I mean, just spreading out from the center. Nobody really blocks each other. You may affect what I thought I was going to do. Now I'm going to do something a little different, but that's only the first couple of turns.
Yeah, and I do, one of the smaller mechanisms that isn't ever really talked about, I do like where everyone has like the same hand.
Yeah.
And like there's that one card that pulls it all back. I like that because then it just adds that extra layer of strategy of thinking like, because there were times I'd play my production card to get brick, and then I'm like, I need brick again. Dang it. Okay, I guess I'll waste a whole turn to pull it back.
Right.
Or do I do my prefect cards and start taking, oh wait, there's no brick up there.
Yeah. Or someone does a production type thing, you know, and you use the Diplo
Yeah.
to get, you know, take someone else's action.
Which I like, so
I like that too.
solid game.
Yeah, it's solid.
All right. Well, that's our thoughts on Concordia, everyone. I hope you enjoyed. Let us know what you think of this game in the comments below. Other than that, like, comment, you. Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you would like to see more of my content, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell to be notified whenever I upload any new content. If you feel like supporting the channel, you can go ahead and click that Patreon link to be taken to my Patreon, and any help is truly appreciated. Other than that, stick around for any other run-throughs or reviews or cool top 10s or whatever I feel like putting on. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.